What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and this is the first ever episode of Rap Gone Wrong. Our first victim, Xxxtentacion. I've been asked to talk about this guy so many times by my viewers that I finally created a new series that would work for not only him, but for just less than reputable rap in general. You can expect me to cover the likes of 6ix9ine, Lil Yachty, and many others over the course of this series. That is if you guys want to see more of this. So if you do, please drop a like on the video and leave a comment letting me know what you think of the episode. In this new series, Rap Gone Wrong, I will primarily be talking about the artist's background and what I think in general, overall thoughts, and the overall tone of this series is meant to be slightly comedic with obviously my opinions in there as well, but I think it's important to open this episode in particular up on something very important. I very strongly do not condone the actions of Xxxtentacion. Some of the things that are out there are allegations at this point, but it's been proven on several different accounts that he really isn't exactly the most reputable guy out there. In fact, he's pretty terrible as a person as it comes. And that's not exactly something that I have pride in saying like, yeah, this guy sucks. It's more like, wow, I hate to see somebody that's being praised so much in the limelight actually having a really negative history to them. So obviously there's a lot of allegations of domestic abuse. I will be putting links in the description down below as well as a hotline to call if you or a loved one has been involved in a situation or needs to escape from domestic abuse. Please check out those links, get help, tell somebody, get help, because that is a very, very serious thing. If anybody is ever laying hands on you, threatening you, anything like that, if anybody seems unstable, then please do not hesitate to go to a friend or get a friend to go to authorities for you. So, Rap Gone Wrong. What exactly does that imply? Well, it implies that obviously along the line somewhere of coming up, Xxxtentacion missed something somewhere. And with his style, if you've never listened to this man before, you might notice that his debut album 17 was more of like a lo-fi, almost acoustic leaning project. And while he was labeled a rapper, he also sings and has like a little bit of a different lo-fi atmosphere and an emo hip-hop vibe as well. His second project, which is primarily what we will be talking about on this episode, and in the future you can expect me to whatever I am talking about. I will be talking about that rapper's latest project primarily. His newest album, question mark, or question, whatever it might be. It's seeing him trying to take on several different worlds, and it sees him opening things up with an explanation, and that explanation is kind of weird if you ask me. This isn't really anything new for X, but he opens up with track number 1 being instructions, the introduction, and here he actually tells you where to listen to the project, how to listen to it, to go in expecting something alternative, and if you're not of the alternative mindset, then, you know, you're not going to understand his genius. And when he said and referred to his genius, I just, whoo, you have to cringe a little bit. You're not Kanye West yet, kid. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. Xxxtentacion, you're never gonna be Kanye West. And not that Kanye West always deserves to be calling himself a genius, but he's able to pull it off way more than you are. Tone it back a bit, bud. X is among this new wave of freshman rappers that have come up in the age of SoundCloud dominance for all of these hazy rappers and the ones that are emo and whatever else the new wave is being billed as. And with his projects, he did stand out in some ways. I mean, I don't hate tracks like Jocelyn Flores, but I do hate some of the other ones, like Look at Me. What an annoying ass song that I want to murder with Negan's bat from The Walking Dead. Just bury it in the ground. 17 as an album did stand out from the pack, and it was somewhat unique. Even though I didn't like the majority of it, I could at least give it that. But this new album, Question, is something entirely different, and there are good songs on there. When I label a series like this as Rap Gone Wrong, I feel like everybody's gonna think, oh, he's going to burn every single track at the stake, when that's not the case whatsoever. There's good songs on Question. The main problem with X in general is that it seems like he's more about his image and his style and the way that he puts himself out there as somebody who's confrontational and not afraid to go there and even feud with other rappers and friends like Ski Mask the Slump God on Instagram Live. He is not afraid of really just putting his reputation and his image on the line, because it seems like rappers these days are bulletproof. It doesn't matter. People are streaming his album like crazy. They are buying it, they are streaming it, they are listening to it, and it doesn't matter if he has domestic abuse charges, it doesn't matter if he is feuding with somebody on Instagram Live. All it means to him is more exposure. And is this video more exposure? Perhaps, but honestly, I am a very small fish in the sea when it comes to talking about Xxxtentacion. His second album sees him being swept up in a sea of trap music, which was not exactly absent on 17, it's just that it's much more prominent here, and it seems like it's there for the sake of, oh, this is what's poppin' right now, and I need another hit or something like that. And the use of the skittering 808s and drum beats, it's so replicated, formulaic, and it seems like it's thrown onto some of these tracks that actually do have cool hooks, cool instrumentals, and stuff that works in like guitars, but they try to layer on these rolling hi-hats and this bouncy, glossy rap trap feel to the tracks, and that's where I start to take issue with it, because honestly, X is not that bad of a singer, and he's not god-awful at rapping by any means, and the way that he explores genres like screamo, emo, hip-hop, and everything like that, it's actually kind of darn interesting. But you knew the but was coming, but he actually fuses these genres together in a way that seems like somebody using a stapler blind, like trying to put up a bulletin board and you have no idea where anything's going, so you're just punching at the wall randomly. Are some of the staples gonna land? Absolutely, and they do. Look to some of the tracks like Even Sad. I mean, I know a lot of people hate that song, but I can't hate that one. It's kind of a jam. And then Moonlight, oh my god, the production on that track is just succulent. It's like biting into a juicy steak. It's fantastic, and I honestly love that song. The opening to this record is strong. Even though I'm all about separating the art from the artist, it's really hard to do sometimes with Xxxtentacion. I looked at some of the collaborations on this record, like the song with Joey Badass, with somebody that I really respect. I really like him. He has a prominent voice in the world of hip-hop. He's a young dude that I really admire in the rap game. And then he's collaborating with X, who seems to be a very negative person, even though he kind of billed this album as more positive and uplifting and everything like that. I don't really get it. You can collaborate and be friends with whoever you want to, but it just kind of brings down your message, and I feel like it kind of takes away some of Joey's punches and maybe some of the other collaborators as well when you talk about important issues if you're still willing to work with somebody like X. I felt the same way about Travis Barker recording drums for Pain Equals Best Friend on this album. The screams there are tense from X, and I actually kind of like the drumming. It's a very short track once again, which X is known for. That's kind of another problem right there. These tracks are so short and almost too short in places that they're forgettable. You can just kind of graze right over them and you forget that you even listen. You're like, I'm already on track 6 and it's been like 8 minutes. But what I was getting at is that I am kind of disappointed that Travis Barker of Blink-182 fame is doing the drums on this track, Pain Equals Best Friend. This one is one that is fine as a song, but the collaboration in general, not that it justifies his actions, and it's not Travis Barker saying, I agree with what he may have done and the stuff that he actually did do and all of the concert mishaps and the punching of fans. I'm not saying that Travis Barker agrees with that by collaborating with him. It just kind of puts a message out there because this goes beyond allegations. Allegations are one thing, but when we have actual physical concrete evidence of many bad things that a person has done, why do we keep encouraging them and why do they keep getting free passes? When I say rap gone wrong, it doesn't just refer to the music. I'm talking about the rapper in general, and Xxxtentacion is more than a rapper, of course. He's also a singer and kind of a multi-genre type artist, but that doesn't mean that he's still doing the wrong thing much of the time. The way that he goes about things, the influence that he has on a much younger audience, it sends a very negative message to them. And it goes beyond language or foul play or sexual content in the lyrics. It's actually him doing these things in real life, setting a bad example. It's one thing to actually rap about something on a track, which we all know, it's just people talking themselves up a lot of the time, and to actually do something in real life. It's bad, it's wrong. X very much likes the spot to be marked right on his forehead because he wants that spotlight shining on him at all times. In fact, he threatened to quit music. He wanted to be friends with Ski Mask the Slump God again, This dude is like 19, 20 years old. I assume he was 19 at the time, and he's really threatening Ski Mask the Slump God on Instagram. It's so petty. It's such a social media war type move that I just can't get behind whatsoever. He's making these threats, he's saying all these things, and it all just seems like a lot of random chatter to keep the spotlight on him. Oh, I'm quitting music. Oh, I'm back. Oh, I have a Christmas tape. Oh, I've got a new album coming out, but I'm not retiring after all. So people continue talking about him. Whether it's bad press or good press, he doesn't seem to care whatsoever. Let's finish things out by actually going through a little bit of his new album and some of the moments that just downright made me cringe. The dollar sign or the money track is one that has such an uneven flow. I feel like I'm walking on a Stairmaster that only has one stair going, and you're trying to constantly balance yourself because it's so jarring. I hate the flow on that track. And then even after that, we get this really awkward song called Smash with P&B Rock, an up-and-comer right there in the game. And this collaboration just feels so weak. This is one that was kind of promoted. It was kind of billed as a single, and Smash just feels awkward, especially knowing X as a person when it's so closely related to the things that he talks about and the things that he actually might do in real life. It's just like I said, awkward. The song Schizophrenia feels like X putting on an impersonation of 21 Pilots, except trying to be more risque and more edgy, but as a result, it kind of falls flat on its face and does a nosedive into oblivion. And then you've even got some of these other slower, more acoustic type tracks like Hope and Changes, and ones that throw on those skittering beats just for the sake of throwing on skittering beats. I will say it again, the first half of this record, really up through track 8, it's okay. There's some passable songs in there, there's some actual good songs, but the second half tries way too hard to blend this world of trap music with his own unique style. And even though there are good instrumentals in there, I feel like they almost get ruined by the things that they tack on top of them, just because they almost seem like they feel like they have to. I know a lot of this seemed personal towards Xxxtentacion, but there's so much information out in the world that I feel like people just don't talk about, even though much of it is proven, and he's been to jail multiple times for things that are very serious. It's not just like, oh, he was smoking weed at a concert, or he had a possession of drugs, or anything like that. These are actually physical altercations that he's getting in with other women and fans even, and it's just one thing after another, and it seems like he gives no fucks about the world around him. He cares about himself and attention and wanting the spotlight on him, getting what he wants, making what he wants to, no matter what the consequences. That's just my take on it, guys. What do you think, and what did you think of the first episode of Rap Gone Wrong Xxxtentacion edition? Sound off in the comment section down below. Please drop a like on the video. Keep in mind, it is all just my personal opinion, and I would love to know about yours in the comment section down below. Hey, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and like I said, tap a like on the video while you're here, and if you're able to, please support me on Patreon. It not only supports videos on this channel, but also beyond ARTV as well. If you would like to see another recent video I did, click right over here, or another one right here. Socials found in the description down below, and other than that, I'll see you soon on ARTV.